The head coach of the Toledo Walleye, Nick Vitucci, is right to my left. Scout Ed Burkholder is to his left, and Mike Bukator all the way at the end there. Gentlemen, first off, thanks for taking some time out in the busy time when you guys are discussing an awful lot about the players that we might see over at the Huntington Center coming up in the fall. Mike, I'll start all the way with you down there at the end. When you kind of, take us through what your guys' role is between you and Ed. Start your thoughts.
Basically, to get out to, I go to NCAA and the Canadian University games and just try to find the type of players that are what Nick would like as Toledo Walleyes, and then transfer that information off to the coach.
Yeah, Ned, I know you've been, you guys have both been with Nick for a long time.
Yeah.
Very similar. Where do you go? What do you specialize in when you're looking at players?
I really concentrate on the OHL, Matt, and the rest of the scouting staff will send the reports to me, and then I send them off to Nick. And Nick and I do communicate a lot during the year about certain players and certain holes that he needs filled. So a lot of communication with the scouting staff and with the boss.
All right, Nick.
The boss, Matt. Did you hear that? The boss.
The boss?
Paid me to say that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I say it too sometimes, he likes to hear that. Nick, how invaluable are these guys to you when you're, especially in this time of the year when you're trying to piece together who you want to bring in?
Priceless. Really is, Matt. We're not able to see these players during the course of the season because our schedules run parallel with the OHL and the NCAA and the Canadian University schedule. So it's not like we can just get away and go watch a weekend of games and evaluate these players on our own. So it's great having Ed, Mike, and the rest of our staff. They know what I want in a player. They know the type of players that I want to have on my hockey club. So those are the type of players that they're looking for. Perfect example was last summer, Joey Martin, kind of fell on my lap, but he didn't fall on Ed's lap. Ed knew about him from back home, followed his Canadian junior career, and then he went on to NCAA hockey in Omaha, Nebraska, and said, hey, here's a guy you have to have. So just from that information, we were open in the communications with Joey and got him to come here, and obviously was our leading scorer this year. So it's great when they know the type of player I want, and then they allow me the information to go and try and get him here to play for us.
Yeah, when you look at the league as a whole, guys, and I'll start down there with the scouting staff a little bit. Mike, we'll start with you. When you're looking at college players and you're trying to project whether they can be good ECHL players, how hard is that?
It's easier at the older ages. NCAA, you're getting older, mature men, and but you still have to find out if they're going to do what it takes to be an East Coast Hockey League player, and it's certainly not easy.
Yeah. Ed, what's the one thing you look for when you're looking at a player and you go, oh, this guy could be a really good player, like a Joey Martin?
Yeah, well, you know what? When you're scouting the level of hockey players that we are, most of them are good skaters. Have a great shot, great pass. That's a given. You want the will to win. You want players, when you talk to their coaches, what are they like in the dressing room? What are they like on the bench? Do they compete every single shift? And that's the kind of leadership, that's the kind of mentality you want in a hockey player that you want to pass on to Nick to coach, because that's his style. He wants the most out of his players. He wants guys, because the ECHL is a very tough schedule. It's grinding sometimes. You need guys that are going to come out, work hard, compete, take care of their body, and do it every single shift.
Nick, what's the one thing you kind of said to these guys that I want to have going into the 012, 013 season?
They know we want work ethic, number one. They know we want guys who want to get out of this league, who are driven to give their best while they're here, and hopefully that's good enough for them to move on to the next level. But Matt, they have the toughest job, and you think about it, they just can't go to a game and look at the best guys on the ice, because in reality, the best guys in the ice aren't going to come to the ECHL. They're going to the NHL, signing NHL deals. So they've kind of got to find that secondary layer of player, the diamond in the rough that maybe a year or two in the ECHL, a Bracken Kearns type player that really didn't catch a lot of people's eyes but played NHL this year, right? So it's a challenge for them as well. And the communication line is so important, and we have that. Ed's done a great job this summer constructing a website for us as well. So, just good things like that we can track players.
And we can't wait for when it all gets going again in October. Thank you, gentlemen. Glad to see you all here in Toledo, and we will certainly look forward to seeing the Walleye again coming up October 13th. It all gets fired up again over at the Huntington Center. The big crowds, the great action, the fun that is at the Huntington Center and Toledo Walleye Hockey. Of course, you can head to ToledoWalleye.com. You can get your plans right now or by phone, 419-725-9255.